Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Radio Verilişləri. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva viewed conditions created at Child and Youth Development Center in Baku after major overhaul and restoration.
The creation of modern infrastructure in various spheres is in the focus of attention. Hundreds of educational institutions have been built and reconstructed in recent years. One of them is the Child and Youth Development Center. President İlham and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva familiarized themselves with the conditions created in the Child and Youth Development Center in Baku after major overhaul and restoration. In 1937, the Central Palace of Pioneers was created in the building located at S. Velikhanlı 3 Street. The goal was the effective organization of children's leisure time, the development of their knowledge, abilities and skills, the provision of practical and methodical assistance in the organization of extracurricular educational work. At first, circles of technical creativity, artistic education, visual arts, and physical culture functioned in the palace. In 1946, a song and dance ensemble consisting of a choreographic group, ensembles of folk instruments, accordionists, and a choir was created in the palace. Composer Gambar Hüseyinli wrote Cücelerim song for the ensemble. That is why in 1959 the ensemble received its name Cücelerim. In April 1961, in honor of the world's first cosmonaut, the palace was named after Yuri Gagarin, and in 1991 it was renamed to the Republican Palace for Child and Youth Creativity, named after Tevfik Ismailov. In 2016, the Republican Center of Ecological Education and Practice of the Ministry of Education, the Republican Center of Young Tourists and Local Law, and the Baku Palace of Children and Youth Creativity named after Tevfik Ismailov were merged, and based on them, the Child and Youth Development Center, which was awarded last year the status of public legal entity, was created. In 2022, the center, which played a significant role in the formation of thousands of talented young individuals in various domains during the time of its operation, underwent major overhaul. After commissioning, 44 circles in such areas as dance, musical instruments, singing, healthy lifestyle, theater, painting, foreign languages, intellectual development, science and technology, psychology, cooking and tourism, and also Eco Clubs were organized in the center. Up to 1,500 students will be engaged in the circles. 20 administrative, 20 technical, and 65 pedagogical workers will work at the center.
On January 5th, President Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyev attended the opening of STEM Innovation Center in Baku.
Modern world realities pose many important tasks for education to train highly qualified specialists of the future. In order to build work in all spheres of life in accordance with the new world order, training in educational institutions should be interesting, the knowledge gained should be put into practice, classes should be conducted in a creative way. That is, today's graduates must meet modern requirements and improve themselves in the labor market. Starting from the 2019-2020 academic year, the Ministry of Science and Education launched the STEM Azerbaijan project with the support of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation. Today's STEM classrooms and centers operate in a number of schools in our country. The curriculum of the STEM Innovation Center, which is a continuation of the STEM Azerbaijan project, differs from the curricula of similar centers operating in secondary schools. School children and students of various age categories who have applied to the center using the skills of the 21st century, creativity and knowledge of various programming languages will increase their ability to use modern ICT equipment. STEM is the realization of new ideas as a result of the synthesis of science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics, an educational approach that can contribute to the solution of various problems in the society. The four-story building of the STEAM Innovation Center has an aviation space, classic Newton for children and conference rooms, game rooms, construction rooms, Eureka Classics rooms, a robot development laboratory, 3D hologram VR zones. The goal of the center is to direct the potential and interest of the students to serving the society, to their stimulation and acquisition of knowledge. The STEM teaching method is of a great importance to the socio-economic development of the country at the present stage. Thus, through this method, children will be able to present the intellectual product, grow as specialists of the future, and contribute to the development of the country. The conditions created here will allow a new generation of highly qualified youths brought up in the center to contribute to the future development of our country.
President İlham Aliyev signed an executive order on the additional measures on the improvement of social welfare of the population. According to the executive order, starting from January 1st, 2023, the amount of minimum wage was set to 345 monats. With this executive order of the head of state, the minimum wage and salary raise of those working based on the unified tariff schedule will cover 700,000 people. According to the new executive order, the amount of the minimum pensions will be raised to 280 monats. Allowances and pensions will be raised. The Cabinet of Ministers must prepare its proposals and submit it to the head of state in 10 days' time. So the raise in amount of the minimum monthly pensions will be 16.7%. Overall, additional 750 million monats are envisaged for the new raise in social payments for this year. This raise will cover 1.9 million citizens. Eco-activists and NGO representatives continued their rally on the Lachin-Khan-Kendi road against the illegal exploitation of mineral deposits of Azerbaijan for the 25th day without interruption. The road is open for the passage of humanitarian vehicles. Vehicles of the International Red Cross Committee moved without impediments from the area where the peaceful rally was held. President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, called on his Russian counterpart for an immediate ceasefire and a peaceful solution to the crisis in Ukraine. The issue was brought up during a telephone conversation between the presidents, Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Vladimir Putin. The Turkish presidential administration said in its statement on the results of the talks that the leaders discussed the relations between the two countries, the Ukrainian crisis, the situation in Syria and regional issues. Recep Tayyip Erdogan also announced plans to complete the roadmap of Ankara's gas hub as soon as possible. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.